Before coming to Full Sail, I had been in the debate club and the speech club for 2 years at my high school. So I did have a little bit of public speaking. I'd never done public speaking in front of so many people before. It was usually 10 people maximum. So it was a lot different in the public speaking class at Full Sail where it was over 20 people and it made me feel really nervous. Like it was just, there were a lot of people and I wasn't used to that. I feel a lot more comfortable now. I realize that from 10 to 25, 30 people is not that big of a jump. I feel like maybe now it would be a lot more nervous for me to do maybe like speak in front of 100 people, but 25 is not that many and I feel okay with that. During my speeches, I use ethos in my persuasion speech because I was presenting on legalizing prostitution, and it's not really that, it's against a lot of people's ethics, so I think I had to kind of persuade them to just be open-minded about it. And I used logos in that as well because I also had to present a lot of logic for why legalizing would make sense. My eye contact, I feel, is pretty good during my persuasion speech, not so much during my pitch, just because I did have a note card that I kind of wrote everything down on, so that one was a little more me reading off of cards. But I feel like my volume and projection were both fine during both of those presentations. My gestures and movements, I do kind of move my feet when I talk, and I hope my hand gestures were natural. I don't really know. I don't really remember what I was doing. I was just kind of talking, and I'm not really aware of what my body was doing. I was pretty nervous during the pitch just because it was an idea I had been working on for a while, so I was kind of nervous because everybody else's ideas seemed really good, and I was kind of worried how it would go. When I built my PowerPoint for my persuasion, I really went with what Gar Reynolds said, and I was just putting barely any words on every slide and just really kind of taking away. Like I would add something and then be like, nope, that's too much, and just pretty much just be background and words, 1 or 2 words, and that was it. I actually got a pretty good response for my persuasive presentation, which I was really happy with. A couple of people came up and started talking to me about it after class, so I was really glad that, they were interested in my subject, and they didn't really seem engaged during the presentation, but the fact that they were listening enough to talk to me afterwards was what I was really pleased with. I didn't really have any technology problems. I did kind of flub my beginning in my persuasion just because I wasn't really used to the setup of how it had to go. But I just kind of looked at my note cards and went, where am I? What do I have to do now? Do I have to give my thesis? And then I recovered pretty quickly. I really enjoyed giving the persuasive speech the most just because because of debate, I was really used to kind of persuading a judge or somebody to vote my way. So I really enjoyed trying to, convince my class, this is what you should do, and it was just something I was more used to. I feel like the pitch was really difficult for me just because I did need to follow an outline to make sure I got everything in, and when I have everything written down on note cards, I just kind of read them really quickly just because I read things really quickly out loud, and so it wasn't at the pace that I wanted, and I just was trying to cram all the information in, and it just wasn't the way I wanted. And that would be, I feel like, my biggest challenge in delivery is just trying to fit everything in, but not have it written down word for word, because that's something that I'm one to do, and I know it's not what I should do, but when I need to fit so much stuff in such a short amount of time, it just doesn't work. I would rate my speeches, probably my persuasive, I would give it a 3 or 4, just because I felt really confident. I put a lot of work into it, and I feel like I did very well. I would probably give my pitch about a 1 or a 2. I just wasn't happy afterwards with it. But after public speaking, I feel a lot more confident speaking in front of larger groups of people, and I'm really, really happy about that. That's all that I wanted to really get out of this class. I feel like I can talk to more people, and I feel like that's opened up my career choices in film just because I didn't want to be in charge and I didn't want to talk in front of a lot of people, and now I feel like I really can do this, and it's something that I can definitely do in the future.